What is going on in the world, Lubie? I mean, and good morning, people. It's good to have you guys with us. Destined to go to the racetrack later on today. And Mayo's good. I mean, he keeps bringing those Friday and Saturday forums. Although, one thing I find, and I love Tony Screno, but he always ends up taking like the Saturday racing form.
Oh, does he? Does he even bet? Why does he need the Saturday one? Is he betting on Saturday?
I don't know. I mean, is that just a byproduct of being in the media forever, where whatever they're giving away, you're taking one? Like, even though you have like zero use for it.
What do you mean?
Is he watching FanDuel? I don't think so. That's not Tony's bag.
I have no interest at all anymore watching any of it, and I almost grab it every week.
Yeah. It's insane, isn't it? Right? You wouldn't know how to read it anyway, right? I mean, look, it's no shame if you have never looked at a racing form. You look at it, it's like, what the fuck is this? That's probably the worst move that you can make in any kind of relationship. Try to teach your girlfriend to read the racing form. Not that she's incapable. No. Now, here's the thing. If she already knows everything about the form and she's pointing out things to you on the first date,
oh, that's great.
How do you feel about that woman?
Yeah, it's amazing.
But is she ever going to buy your bullshit when she's already surpassed you in terms of her degenerate levels, which would be the ultimate test? Because I like that when, you're with somebody. Now, this is only in my fantasies, Libby. Mm-hmm. When you're with a woman at the track and she says, can you believe this, Christoph? Come on, man.
Oh, yeah.
This is the second time he's put blinkers on this horse, and guess what happened both times? Finished last. Then he has the barn send in a bunch of money, so the horse is 4 to 5 every flash, and you know what happens with 4 to 5 favorites. People believe in them.
The time.
Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
And yet, when you back them, they always lose. There seems to be a huge complaint evolving all around the thoroughbred racing world, Lubie, not just unique here to Gulfstream Park or races that take place in South Florida, but all over the racing universe. That there seems to be a disturbing tendency where favorites are winning a much larger majority of races than they ever have in the past. Favorites winning all the time. Now, there are certain tracks that are so crooked they can never capitulate to having that circumstance occur. Turfway Park being one of them. I was looking at a little survey of what's going on at Turfway Park. This is a track that seems like it's out in the hinterlands in Kentucky. I've never been there, Libby. You'll find that surprising. Turfway Park. And they race at night, and it's always cold, and it's rank, and you're thinking, who the fuck is out there? What kind of degenerate would actually be standing by the rail at Turfway Park on a 12-degree night in the boondocks of Kentucky somewhere where we can't even identify a nearby city to Turfway Park? Where the fuck is it? Is it near Cincinnati? I don't know. Turfway Park. Anyway, and it was also, kind of became even more schmaltzy when you had Mike Battaglia. Not to denigrate this guy personally, but he was a shitty race caller. He was one of the worst ever. On the inside, on the outside. He was the son of a famous racing guy, and for some reason rose to tremendous prominence as a racetrack announcer, and then on top of that, as a handicapper, even though he always picked the chalk, always. I mean, he'd be on NBC, and he'd give you the 3 to 5 shot with bold and brazen confidence. And you're looking at this guy and thinking, and you would think this of anybody that put it where, he was like kind of proudly beating his chest like, hey, I think I scoped out the winner here. It's Secretariat. Like, great. But I mean, you're thinking, what a disgrace that this guy is constantly, always picking the favorites in these races. And at Turfway Park, though, they haven't conformed to what is happening is this happening across the board in all sports? Are favorites suddenly becoming much more of a prominent factor? Because in racing, it's disgusting what's going on. People always get turned off by this situation, even though they're probably betting favorites. Where, you could hit like 18 out of 30 winners and lose money. It's insane because these horses aren't paying anything. Turfway Park, though, the average win payoff so far in the early stages, I guess they're about a month into their meet, Louie, the average win payoff is $14. So the average horse is going off at a price of 6 to 1 or better. And then on top of that, they showed like the average payoffs for various exotic wagers. The average, now this is a 10-cent superfecta, Louis, 10-cent superfecta, which involves picking the first 4 horses in order. Hard enough to pick a winner, you would say, yes, right? Very difficult to pick an exacta. How much money have I put up in smoke betting exactas? A fortune. Trifecta becomes, you're cubing the luck factor there, are you not? Every time you add in another position, you're squaring and cubing the luck factor. So now you throw in 4th. But those wagers, typically, what? I mean, I don't know what they average around the world or in the world of horse racing in general. The 10-cent supers are paying an average of like $360 for 10 cents, Louis. Think about that. You could wager a dime, win 360 on the average wager that's coming through at Turfway Park and Superfectas, which means that the dollar supers are paying $3,600 on average. What the fuck? They're not afraid to put over bombs there. They have no shame. They have no conscience whatsoever. Turfway Park, that's the place to bet your money right now. Turfway Park. If you want to bet, just throw the favorite out and go ahead and unload on any number of bombs. Of course, they usually have pretty big fields there. I would imagine it's a nice, quick way to go broke, but at least you're in there with a shot that you might catch lightning in a bottle. All right, never mind. Enough on the horse racing lessons. Because there are some wagers that we would want to get into today, but I have to start, and this may not be. We will have a trivia challenge too, by the way. We'll have the trivia challenge coming up. Dave Gurggles Gergely is painted in there, not even penciled in. He's in Krylon that he is going to be here today with the trivia challenge. So that's coming up in a few minutes, and you can always jump on board and dial us up if you want to play at 954-417-0070. Took me a while to remember the number there, Libby. 417-0070. So if you want to get involved in that, that's going to happen in about, 15? No, not even, like 10 minutes?
10 minutes, 10, 15
10 minutes or so, as we babble on about the sporting world. All right, many things happening, many things shaking out, and a lot of stuff on the table today. You did have, did you consider this a signature game last night of any type?
It should have been.
You were missing what? You were missing, let's throw it a negative out there, I mean, or at least the excusable. They were missing Tyler Hero still, which we don't know what to make of that. Josh Richardson and Kevin Love. How much does that compromise them against
We're supposed to be
the Denver Nuggets team?
I mean, Love is a guy that could go out and get in Michael Porter Jr.'s way, as you've seen the last two times they played over the last 2-3 weeks.
Porter Jr. was on fire last night. He was hitting everything.
I mean, you tell me that you're going to play the Nuggets and both Murray and Jokic will score under. I think they both scored under 20.
Jokic had 12 points in a game. He only shot the ball 8 times.
Both of the games. I'm talking about both games combined. You're telling me Jokic and Murray will both have less than 22 points. And they both did in both of those games. And the Nuggets will win by double digits both games. I would say you're fucking crazy.
Yeah. Game was kind of going back and forth. I don't know that the Nuggets weren't putting forth their 1,000% best effort. They may have been a little bit fatigued because, as we know, South Beach is the best six man in any sport in terms of
Denver.
A home court advantage. So Denver comes slogging into town there. They probably spent the night out. They opened up quickly on the Miami Heat, who looked to be in disarray early in the ball game. Then it got tight all the way through until like the fourth quarter. Late third quarter.
I didn't watch it. It was the anniversary, so we were watching movies, hanging out, and I wasn't going to.
You couldn't put the Heat game on your anniversary.
I put it on my phone. I mean, we were watching TV shows and movies, and I just didn't care. Like I figured they'd get.
Could you tell her the Nuggets were in town and that this is a real test and maybe a statement game for Miami?
She wouldn't care, but I didn't care enough to just. It's hard for me to watch them. What they are right now, it's just hard to watch. So, and I was keeping track of it.
And that would be 4 in a row, right? That they've lost.
They've now lost 4 in a row.
Okay.
Look, they played 2 of the best teams in the league, 3 playoff teams, but I mean, they were close in all the games and lost all 4, especially to the Wizards.
Yeah.
So it was a close game. I feel like into the late third. I mean, they were within 3 to 5.
Yeah, it was seesaw back and forth a little bit. Heat were actually leading by a slight margin for a lot of the early portion of the second half that I saw. Anyway, at some point, all of a sudden, a guy came in off the bench, which supposedly Denver has no bench this year because they lost a couple of guys off of last year's team that were somewhat, I mean, very, very catalytic and important to them. And a lot of the pundits thought, well, maybe they're not going to be as good. And this guy comes in off the bench whose name I'm blanking on. And I want to say for some reason it starts with a W, but I could be wrong about that. And he cans two jumpers off of screens from Jokic, which Jokic didn't do much except stand there in the way. And this guy comes in, he goes from the right elbow, boom, hits a jumper for 2. Goes to the left elbow, same exact move, except on the other side of the court, boom, hits a jumper for 2. Comes down and swishes a 3. He scored 7 points in a matter unanswered against Miami, and from that point on, Denver was in control of the game, and that was it. And you wouldn't have expected necessarily Miami to beat Denver, but if they were going to make some kind of, there's no such thing, is there, Lubie? Has that been proven to be a complete fallacy? The whole idea of an in-season, regular season statement game. What do you think, Lubie? I would think that, as evidenced by what we saw last night, that didn't really have a whole lot of meaning to the Miami Heat, who were really struggling offensively early in that ball game, and then later on, Aaron Gordon is the most interesting of components there. Well, for all the star caliber power that you have with Murray and Jokic,
he makes life a living hell for fucking Butler. Butler has played horrendous in all of these Denver games. I mean, 15.
Yeah, this guy's good, man. Wow. I mean, there's a bold deduction made by me, Lubie, and I'm sure people were unaware of that. That Aaron Gordon is a really good player.
When he was an all-star with the Magic, and he went from being an all-star with it's the kind of move teams dream of, turning a team's all-star into your fourth best player. Like it's why the Nuggets to me are just in a class by themselves. They've done what a lot of these other teams were able to do in the past, where I don't know why people bitch about their depth. Look, I get it. Ricky Jackson's in his 60s and he's on their bench, but like,
who was the guy that hit the 3 shots in a row?
Watson on the bench.
Watson, that's the guy. Yeah,
total. He only had 6 total, so I don't know. Maybe
he had to have 7 because
no one has 7 on their bench.
All right. Well, I mean, he might have had other points in the game. One stretch. Maybe they discredited the 3-pointer and knocked it down to a 2. That's
Watson at 6. The guy Braun, who Braun is, the annoying guy.
Yeah,
the guy who's not good.
He isn't bad. That guy has a little bit of game.
He had 7 total.
Yeah.
And like no one else, everyone else is a starter. You've heard of Caldwell Pope. So like, I don't know. I'm thinking it's the Watson guy, and maybe he had a 3, a 2, and I don't know.
No, he hit 2. They might have knocked that 3-pointer down. Maybe he was on the line or something, and they took away a point later. It's possible.
I mean, so their bench isn't great. Don't get me wrong, but
it's not very deep. They don't have deep depth. The
guy Braun comes in and gives you nice minutes. I guess this Watson guy fucking comes in and gives you minutes. Jackson's been around for a long time now and been in playoff runs. And they have 5 guys in their starting lineup that all 5 do exactly what they need to do in a way that
this Gordon, I mean, he couldn't play his role any better, any more professional.
Celtics are the closest thing, and to me, I trust Murray. Put it this way: if Tatum and Brown had that game, the Celtics aren't winning by fucking 12. That's different. That right there, for all the Celtics fans and the NBA that's fallen in love with the Celtics, that game right there is why the Celtics are not the favorite. They're not even a top 2 favorite. That game right there, if Tatum and Brown have 26 points combined, the Celtics are not winning that fucking game. And if they win, they're not winning by 12 over a solid playoff team. The Nuggets are it's not even a plethora.
Well, Porter was great. He went 5 for 9 on 3-point shots.
Yeah, he's back to
and shot a high percentage overall from the field.
And he plays defense.
Gordon was terrific, especially early in the game. He got him started with a couple of inside buckets, and then he showed a lot of versatility. I mean, the guy was hitting 3-point shots out of the corner. He hit a really nice turnaround jumper under pressure. As he made, I think, the first 3 baskets that Denver had. First couple were on tough, rugged inside plays. He's always making really quality cuts to the basket, and they seem to know how to find each other.
He plays really good defense. Yeah. He's physical, he's long, and he somehow doesn't get the foul calls that Jimmy Butler's used to getting.
Oh, he doesn't get Butler calls.
When he's on Butler does not go to the line at all. So I don't know if it's that he's magic or because he's so big because he's like 6'8".
Yeah.
So usually a guy of that size is not covering Jimmy Butler. So maybe he gets away with whatever it is. He makes Jimmy Butler's life a living fucking hell. And you see this with Jimmy Butler every time that they play. And I attribute it to that he was injured in the finals, and he still maybe did have some lingering injuries. Also, I think fucking Aaron Gordon makes his life a living hell. And it's to have that as your 4th guy, there's even the Celtics don't have that as their 4th guy.
No, and efficient also. I mean, this isn't a guy that's wasting a lot of movement.
Like Drew Holiday's the 4th guy. Drew Holiday's 6'4", and he's an old fart. Like Aaron Gordon is 6'8", but can play both ends of the floor. He's gotten vastly better on offense, so he's not. You can't just leave him out there. If he's on the perimeter, he can't hit that shot. So you have to actually defend him out there. And he's really good defensively. And because he's not the main dude, he's not so worried about scoring, so he can put his energy in the defense, which he couldn't do when he was with the Magic. Like, there's no team in the NBA that has what they have. Like, even the Thunder, who have some depth, it's all young guys. Like, they have depth of veteran guys that aren't old. It's like the perfect age range. That's the problem with the Celtics is their depth. Horford's in his 90s, like, or Peyton Pritchard, a guy that isn't an NBA player. Like, at least some of these guys they have. Reggie Jackson's older, don't get me wrong, but they're not counting on him for anything. Yeah. Like the Watson guy, they're not. The Braun guy's a young dude who has already now been in a part of a finals team. Like, they just have the perfect mix of players, and they all play the role. There's no one bitching. They
really do. I mean, they know exactly. Yeah. I was going to say, I was going to agree with you. They know exactly what they're doing together. They really do. Ball zips around. It hits all the right spots. They really do seem to. It sounds like a ridiculous cliche, but they do feed off each other.
Yes,
very, very well, and in perfect symmetry offensively, and they're able to execute under pressure, so to speak.
Yes,
when they need a basket, they seem to come up with a good play. They're not befuddled or exhausting 23.9 seconds of the shot clock before they hoist up some desperation heave. Usually very efficiently run, and you can see where there was some forethought to what they tried to do offensively. And like you said, I mean, interchangeable parts. You got Gordon slashing in a basket. You had Porter outside last night. Jokic wasn't even, I mean, it wasn't like he wasn't there. He just didn't need to do anything. So that was some effort. The Heat, not exactly lighting up. All right, we have Gurgs ready to go. So the Heat go down last night. A lot of interesting stuff today. Gurgs, are you a fan? I'm a big fan of the Tournament Players Championship, only for the one hole, the 17th hole.
17.
Yeah. How great is that? Have you ever played the 17th at TPC Sawgrass?
No, I've got some friends that have, and I've been to other places where they have replicas of that. But we've got our own number 5 hole here with its own little island green, and it's a little more. It's more up my style. But the big game, you guys are leaving the big basketball game out tonight at Atlantic City Convention Center. The Ryder Broncos versus the St. Pete Peacocks.
Oh yeah, is that for a championship?
Ryder, and they've won 6 in a row and covered 8 of their last 10. But
are you riding that streak?
I've been involved in several of them. Yes, against Niagara and Siena and Manhattan and certain other ones. But tonight's going to be a tough one. They end up being a 1.5 favorite, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah.
Your car has been frequently spotted in a parking lot at the Hard Rock for some reason. You've really been one of those guys that's inclined to get involved with this new sports wagering. Do you have the app on your phone too? No.
Too dangerous.
Yeah.
Only if I go there. In addition,
imagine walking around with a pari-mutuel window in your pocket. I'm like you. I don't want any part of it.
You're exactly right.
People are like, well, why do you have to schlep out to the track? You could just bet it on your phone. I don't want to have that available to me. If I did, I mean, you talk about Johnny Danger, man. That would be. I mean, when I first got the home betting account with, where you could bet off of TVG and what do we have? Auto Tote. You had to call in to the teller.
Yes.
And if you got the wrong teller, you knew just to hang up the phone immediately. They would give you the number of whatever window it was that they were supposedly operating, and it'll be teller number 242. It was his old bag, and she could never get the bets right. She was very much like that pari-mutuel clerk that was out there at the Tiki Bar when it was on the other side of Gulfstream.
Yep.
And that old cantankerous guy was there, and he couldn't see and he couldn't hear. And you would call out a bet, and then you would look at your tickets, and he'd always punched out the wrong track. And you go back to the guy, and he said, "You said Gulfstream," and he was.
Yeah, he was next to it. He was next to our buddy, little Bobby, who used to.
Yes.
Yep.
Remember that guy? I mean, he was like the guy in Cuckoo's Nest that was screaming, "I want my cigarettes." I mean, he really was a wacky looking guy, and so there would be times where his was the only window that you could get to because everybody else was staying away from it.
Yeah, they knew it.
You got 1 minute to post on a simulcast, and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to take this desperate plunge. Thank God for self-betting machines. We're going to come back with the trivia challenge. Dial us up, people. Get ready, and you can have some fun and take a chance on winning that gift certificate to Landlubbers. Louie's going to be there tonight with his live trivia action.
Yes,
deemed by many, including Gurggles, who would know because you ran a zillion of these contests, to be the best live trivia activity I think the Chronics would acknowledge this also, that you can find anywhere at any one of these bars, restaurants that conduct such festivities. Lubie is running the best show with the professor. So that's happening tonight. Landlubbers, and that's Pine Island and Sunrise Boulevard in the
Yes.
beautiful city of Plantation, right?
Yes.
Very
Plantation's
nice.
a nice border. Yep.
It's right on the border there. It's kind of a border thing.
It's considered Plantation, but literally my parents live around the corner, and that's Sunrise. So
okay. It's kind of like Margate, Coconut Creek.
Yes,
same
yes,
sort of
Margate,
thing where you're
Coconut Creek.
crossing the street and you're actually changing towns.
Yes, 100%.
Is there barbed wire on the border there, which has now become an American custom? All right, we're coming back with more. Dave Gurggles Gergely and the Trivia Challenge. That's up next. That's up next here on the Defo Show. That's Mike Lubie Lubitz. I'm Jeff DeForest. 954-417-0070. Back with more in a moment. Now that.
The time.
Date 26. In style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine foods served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in Plantation, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers, Raw Bar and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Are you looking to buy your first home? Have you been turned down for a loan? Do you need to refinance or get money out of your home? Call Michael Kodsey, CEO of Choice Mortgage. He's been helping the South Florida community get mortgages for 30 years.
Hi, this is Michael Kodsey, CEO of Choice Mortgage. We have the most competitive fixed rates in the market. Call me 24/7, 561-441-2730. And remember, I don't just work banking hours. To make the right choice for your home, call Choice Mortgage today.
Oh, Solo Volante will be coming late. Oh, Solo Volante, the Belmont's now 1.8 miles. The finish line is coming up quick. Luca Panici, just switch the stick.
The only way to get your morning started is with Defo, joined by Lubie, right here on the Defo Show.
How much money did we help people destroy by suggesting that they might want to take a little taste on Luca Panici in the Belmont Stakes that year? We love Luca. I mean, it was an honor, a privilege, all of that, to even know a guy who was riding in the Belmont Stakes. But, it didn't work out so well. He's had some success in those spots, and unfortunately, many times it worked out as you might anticipate when Luca Panici is riding against Johnny V and the likes and the Ortiz brothers. And he's on a 50-1 shot. All right, Gurggles, have you made any scores recently? I mean, how's it been going? I haven't heard any of your exploits at the racetrack. I don't know. Have you been out there?
Yes, last Sunday at Tampa Bay, I hit the early pick 4.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Yep, and that paid $820.
Wow.
And then because the last leg of it, Pletcher had 2 horses, 2-5 and 6-1, and of course the 6-1 won it.
Beautiful.
So I started the late pick 4 with him, and the late pick 4 came back a little bit better than that. So
wow.
Yep.
A couple of dimes for the Gurgs. Now, are there many losses? Was there a lot of carnage?
Well,
in
there's
between?
always losses. You just don't hear about them. Yeah, that's it.
All right, we're ready for the game here. 954-417-0070. Lubie has just a beautiful, recently printed Landlubbers gift certificate for you that you can use when you're out there at Landlubbers, which Lubie will be hosting the big party again tonight. I think that's been an ongoing, growing enterprise over there. I mean, do you even have room for the regular customers when you're in there?
Oh, they are the regular. I mean, our guys have and gals have become the
They
regulars.
become the regulars. Okay.
Even the weeks, like the last couple of weeks have been slower, we still always have a nice crowd. It actually is very, especially for Ken and I, who are very, I don't know if grumpy is a word for Ken, but I'm grumpy, but very more pessimistic people. It actually heartens us to see such a following for something we never thought would be like this. We've been there a lot. We've been doing it at Vega a long time, and it's sort of waned there. But again, that's a lounge, and that area of town's sort of been a weird place. But Landlubbers, we've been doing it a few years now, and people love it. And we have lots of regulars, and a lot of people that are first-time starters will then become regulars. So we have a good time, and it is different. And if you listen or watch The Professor on these shows, you can understand why it's different. And but it's good, and it's challenging, but he also makes it doable. So yeah, it's a good time.
That's the way it should be.
Landlubbers has great prices too, and the food for like a sports bar. And again, it's a sports bar. So free and make sure whatever the fuck you can be in the bathroom and you can see through.
Oh, he's great.
So like your sports fix is taken care of there, but the food's good and the prices, they raise them slightly, but again, you can go to McDonald's and get food for more money than you would at Landlubber. So
it was very reasonable at Landlubbers. I remember, back in the days when I had money and I picked up a couple of checks there for some friends. It was unbelievable. I thought maybe they had everything comped. It was Mayo City, but no. I mean, that was with all of the items, and the prices were really, really, amazingly fair. For the quality,
and they do a good job. Exactly. So
yeah. I still have nightmares sometimes, though. I don't know, Gurggles, if you got involved in any of this, where the Polyman would call, and this was in the waning days. I mean, we had pretty good success for a while with the live trivia contest we were doing based on the trivia challenge that we were doing on the radio. And we had the live league working for a while, and it worked for a period of time. And then when it started to really sort of dissipate in terms of the crowds, did you get those calls from the Polyman? Can you call somebody?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
See if Dominator wants to come. You have his number. And this would be like 6:30 when the thing was starting at 7. We're trying to see if we could get like 8 people to show up. And then you would get the look from the proprietor. And even if he was a friend, and say, hey, I thought you guys had a following. And Lubie doesn't have to deal with that, though. Landlubber's Sufreen. He loves it. All right, here we go. Into the game. Gurggles, in the tradition with the Polyman, we're going to start out the game in the traditional fashion with Dave Gurggles Gergely and some
easy baseball. This free swinging hitter on his at-bat philosophy said, you got to swing the bat. Only the mailman walks. Kevin Mitchell, Lydell Mitchell, Margaret Mitchell, or Mitchell Trubisky?
Roll it, Lubie. They ran a phone scrambler. Glad that thing still works. It's hard to find a new one. And it lands on the Chronic. A good way to start it out. Lenny the Chronic. You're on the Trivia Challenge. Hello.
How you doing, guys?
Come on down today.
There you are, Chronic. All right, very good. You're in the game.
Make it, Lenny. Tomorrow morning, I got to be at the Redlands Golf Club at 8 o'clock in the morning. So,
good luck.
Yeah, I'll be on the road 6 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, so.
All right, be careful driving.
Mike Nyman asks on the chat line, where is the Polyman? And the answer, of course, is A, parts unknown.
We do miss the Polyman.
You have 1 point, and you are in the game.
All right, let's roll.
Here we go.
All right, Lenny, horse racing. Let's take you back to the movie. Let's take you back to the movie The Sting. The horse that Lanigan loses his money on at the end of the movie The Sting is named Blue Note. True or false?
Oh, good question.
I think that's true.
It's false?
That's false.
Wow.
That's the first horse they gave him as a winner. The one at the end was, I said, place Lucky Dan. No, it was not
Lucky
Blue Note.
Dan. Wow. That was a great movie. I mean, that whole thing was really, really well done. All right, one going for 4, Lenny, to get us going, get us rolling here with our first player on the Trivia
All right,
Challenge.
Lenny, let's take you back 70 years ago today. On this date in history, a rookie with the Milwaukee Braves, Hank Aaron, hit a home run in his debut in an exhibition game versus who?
Oh, Bill Monbouquet. Is he one of the choices?
What? No, not a pitcher.
Right.
The team.
Oh,
Was
the
it
team.
the Phillies, the Red Sox, the Cubs, or the Tigers?
Can you repeat them? I'm sorry.
Sure. 70 years ago today, Hank Aaron, as a rookie with the Milwaukee Braves, made his debut in an exhibition game and hit a home run against which of these teams? The Phillies, the Red Sox, the Cubs, or the Tigers?
And
Go
he's
with
got,
the Phillies.
what was that?
No,
He said the Phillies. No, it was the Boston Red Sox, as a matter of fact. Defo tried to give you a tip when he said Bill Monbouquet.
Good question.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It could have been Monbouquet, was it? Andy says Joe Nuxall. Joe Nuxall, a 16-year-old Joe Nuxall.
That was Cincinnati. Yeah. All right, Lenny, your 5-point question. Tennis. This player became the first player in 1971 to win an open-era title in a Grand Slam event without dropping a set.
Wow.
Who was that?
What a performance.
Arthur Ashe, Rod Laver, Jimmy Connors, or Ken Rosewall?
Let's go with Kenny Rose.
Yes.
That's what I would have
Yes.
said, yeah.
Wow.
He defeated Arthur Ashe in the finals. Well done, Lenny.
Finishes strong. Sets the
All right.
pace.
Very nice. 6 points. I actually was in a sort of celebrity media tennis event with Ken Rosewall.
Oh, no
I
kidding.
was in a game, a doubles game. Fred Stolle was also, this was at Turnberry, I believe. Fred Stolle, Ken Rosewall, and who was the other big Australian guy at the time? It wasn't, not
Don
Newcomb.
Newcomb?
Not Newcomb, but it was another one of those guys.
Rod
was part of
Laver?
their big five. No, not Laver. There's one other. And, Emerson. Was it Roy Emerson? And they were a riot, Gurggles. I mean, I know you kind of love this sort of stuff, where you're on the cruises or whatever with a bunch of basketball players from the old school. These guys were hysterical. I mean, the ripping that they did of each other while they were playing was just with the Australian accent.
Yeah.
It was one of the most enjoyable times I ever spent playing
great.
tennis in my lifetime. It was unbelievable. So, yeah, I mean, Rosewall was he was the least likely of those choices, too, to be the answer. So Lenny sniffs that out, ends up with 6 points, and is rolling into the game.
Somebody said that at your age, the other one might have been Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Roy Emerson, right? Wasn't that the guy? Roy Emerson? M.O., as he was known. All right. Dial us up if you want to play. 954-417-0070. 954-417-0070 if you would like to join us here and play the game. Got Lenny with 6 points setting the pace and ready for our next set of questions with the great Dave Gurggles Gergely.
All right, perfect segue. Let's do a tennis one. This tennis commentator, doing his best impression of Ralph Kiner, said, "These ball boys are marvelous. You don't even notice them. There's a left-hander over there that I noticed earlier. Was that Max Robertson, Maxwell Smart, Keith Smart, or Smart Alec?"
I'm going to roll the scrambler here. Lubie's got that. And it lands on the great actor, Pat. Pat, were you at the Oscars, Pat? Did you get an invite there?
No, I took a pass for that.
All right. Did you think Oppenheimer should have won everything? What did you think? What was your opinion on that? Oppenheimer.
I like that movie.
All right.
It's a bit long, but I liked it.
All right. Very good. Won everything. They really dissed Barbie, which was Lubie's favorite movie of the year. Unbelievable. All right. You have 1 point going for 2.
It's only when I saw
All right,
it.
Pat, hockey. Believe it or not, the first pucks used for NHL play were made from shaved lacrosse balls. True or false?
Huh.
That sounds so ridiculous. I'll say true.
That is true.
It is. Wow. That is ridiculous. Gurggles, where
And
did
the rumor is before that, on the outdoor hockey, they used cow dung, believe it or not.
Is that right? I mean,
Yeah.
I'd be more likely to believe that Rocky Marciano invented the fax machine, which is still a subject of controversy from a show many years ago. All right. 2 for 2, Pat. Going for 5. Put you right in there.
All right, boxing, Pat. March 8th, 1971, Madison Square Garden. Frank Sinatra, ringside, became an official photographer for which of the following magazines? Was that
All right.
Look, Life, Sports Illustrated, or Ring Magazine?
Huh. I would have thought Time Magazine would have been the one.
In 71, I'll say Life.
Life Magazine.
Right.
Yes.
Life
Very
Magazine.
good, man.
Yep.
Let's get sharp, Gurggles. I mean, that was not an easy one. That was pretty much of a toss-up. I figured it couldn't have been Ring Magazine because they didn't have enough stature to even get you into the fight. What are you talking about?
Maybe our first sweep in a while. I don't even know the last time we had a sweep.
Potential sweeper is riding with this question.
Gerg's favorite.
There we go.
Okay.
Hockey. I knew it, right? Had to be hockey.
Always hockey. He hates
Which
sweeps.
player was not given up by the Philadelphia Flyers as a part of the compensation package for Eric Lindros from the Quebec Nordiques?
Wow, that's a
Which
good
of the
one.
following was not part of that trade?
Next to impossible. Jacques Leperrier. What?
Ron Sutter, Steve Duchesne, Kerry Hoffman, or Chris Simon? Which
Johnny
was not
Busick.
part of that trade?
Was it Busick?
No.
Kaufman.
Kaufman.
No,
Incorrect.
Ron Sutter was not part of that trade.
Okay, well.
You could have said Don Zimmer, and I wouldn't have known the difference.
Spot, Pat. You may be in the final, so hang around.
That's what you get for sweeping the first 3 points. Okay.
All right, very good. Chronic with 6, Pat with 5. We'll play some more people. You can dial us up 954-417-0070, 954-417-0070. Gurggles Perdomo Cigars. I was just talking with a buddy of mine, a great Mike Clancy, and he was asking about your association with Perdomo Cigars, and he added, you do a tremendous job of promoting Perdomo Cigars over the years. You really have. You put them on the map if they weren't there already. Certainly have enhanced their image, and you are a huge advocate because you smoke them yourself.
I do. As a matter of fact, last Friday I was raising money for a private school at Key Biscayne, and I was on number 3, a beautiful hole over the water, smoking a great Perdomo cigar. Not only was it a great cigar smoke, it kept the mosquitoes away too at Key Biscayne. So it's double-edged as far as that goes. There I am at the Maldives. You don't have to go there. You can go to 5150 Northwest 167th Street, pick up a great cigar. They're open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Go in there, see Nubia, the nice receptionist. She'll guide you to the big humidor designed by and built by our late great friend, the Mad Dog Jim Mandich. See Nick Jr. They're now in their 4th generation of making tobacco cigars, perfect one at a time. Me, if I like a milder one, I like the Lot 23. The folks that were just here from Youngstown, Ohio, they like the more bold 20th anniversary with the Maduro wrapper. So Connecticut wrapper, Maduro wrapper, Churchill, or just a smaller one, whatever you like. Perdomo makes them perfect one at a time. 305-627-6700, the number to call. www.Perdomo Cigars, the place to visit online. They're open Monday through Friday. On a weekend, go online. www.perdomocigars.com to find a retailer near you that makes these great cigars. And tonight, when the Ryder Broncos advance with a 68-64 win over St. Peter Peacocks, put something great in your mouth with a cigar from Perdomo Cigars.
They're going dancing. Ryder's going dancing.
All right.
Very good, man. I couldn't help but think while you were trying to, dissuade these mosquitoes from coming your way with the Perdomo cigar about the Mr. Mosquito Mister.
Yes.
Which was one of my favorite Polyman ad campaigns ever, the Mr. Mosquito Mister, which I think they were rather, it was a luxury item, right? I mean, you had to have a little bit of capital to go ahead and invest in this thing, but nonetheless, it was as effective as anything. I mean, never mind malathion. You could have your own fucking plane and drop malathion in your backyard, and it wasn't nearly as effective or impactful with these little critters as the Mr. Mosquito Mister.
Yeah, and I love when Paulie
did anybody
said,
ever buy one out there in our audience? What do you think?
No, I heard when Paulie said the no seams, and that was what he always wanted to call Vito, no seam. It worked eventually.
Well, after a while, it worked out. Unfortunately, yeah. Rather, I don't know if you would call it an untimely heart attack, but nonetheless, what heart attack is timely? Yeah, it was very timely for certain people.
For Paulie, man.
Oh, my God. Yeah, he was just about to leave the country. All right, we will continue. No, we missed a guy. I mean, Mike Nyman asking, how's a Polyman? How is a Polyman? He's always the same, right? He's just been one of those guys that forever, perpetually will be one of a kind. And there's no doubt about it. And that's a great thing to be. All right, let's continue with the game here. We'll try and find some brilliance. Dave Gurggles Gergely, our next set of questions, in honor, once again, of our esteemed colleague and co-creator of the game, the Polyman. I think he did more of the work than anybody else, though. He deserves credit. Let's just make him the creator of the fucking game. Polyman. He did it. Came up with the trivia challenge. Here's Dave.
Fishing. This British writer and humorist describing a piece of sporting equipment and a sport said, You know what a fishing rod is? It's a stick with a worm at one end and a fool at the other. What's that?
That's good.
Samuel Johnson, Jack Johnson, Olson and Johnson, or Jimmy Olson?
Rolling the scrambler is when Mike Lubie lubits as if he was Fran Tarkenton dodging some tacklers behind a Vikings offensive line. Ron is our next player. Ron, you're on the trivia challenge. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, fellas. Let's go with A.
A is correct.
Yeah,
I have
Ron.
some stiff competition here so far with the Chronic and Pat, both with totals worthy of the finals. So here we go. True, false
Go,
question.
Ron, true or false? Bernard Langer, now at age 66, planned to play this year in the Masters as his last time in the Masters. He's had a terrific career on the Champions Tour. But unfortunately, he tore his Achilles tendon playing pickleball and will not be available. True or false?
There you go. Another knock against the sport.
You may have to repeat the question. Ron dropped off in the middle.
Oh, Ron dropped off. Okay.
He's there now, but you just got to repeat the question.
All right, Ron, here's a repeat of the question you didn't hear.
I have got Ron Golf. True or false? Bernard Langer, age 66, planned to make this Masters his last trip to Augusta. But unfortunately, he won't make it because he tore his Achilles tendon playing pickleball. True or false?
That is true.
Got to be true, right?
It is true.
He's a
Yeah.
good guy. Ron gets golf questions before he even get the goddamn choices. So
Oh, that's right.
Follows golf.
This guy's a ringer on golf.
yeah, it's annoying.
Unbelievable.
That's usually like a hockey that Gurgs will throw in there to fuck with guys. Everyone's like, 1945. Of course it was Gene Sarazen. It's like,
Yeah.
thank you, Ron.
Langer is amazing, though. And he usually he's one of those guys, kind of like, Tom Watson would be a factor early in the first round of one of these events.
Yep,
He's usually in there. Like, you're looking on the leaderboard and you're going, what the fuck? Is that his kid? And it's Langer. And then, unfortunately, doesn't have necessarily the stamina to go the distance under those conditions as compared to what he does on the senior tour, or what is it, Champions Tour, which is one of your favorites, Gurggles. You were very much involved and a big fan of the Champions Tour.
Oh, yeah. When we would go up to Broken Sound.
Your
that
boy
was-
Goidos, you love that guy, man. He was great. All right, Ron, 2 for 2 and going for 5. You have
All right,
another
Ron.
golf question? Ask him something
No,
about
no,
the TPC.
no. Horse racing. Let's take you back to 1969. Barbara Jo Rubin became the first female jockey to win a parimutuel race at which of the following tracks?
All right.
Was it Aqueduct, Belmont, Calder, or Hialeah?
Barbara Jo Rubin.
Yep.
Ooh. Let's go Hialeah.
I'm going to say Hialeah.
Yeah, no, she was one of the first to ride there, but her first win at this track at Aqueduct, 13-1 about a 2-year-old called Brave Galaxy.
I think I was there
Barbara
that
Jo
day.
Rubin.
I remember cursing around on our way back to the jocks room after she was
Well, we
being
had him on the
doused with
tip
all of
sheet.
the ceremonial stuff.
Well,
All
yeah,
right.
on the Lawton. Yep.
You can catapult your way into first place here, Ron, if you get this one right. Otherwise, it's sayonara until next week. So here we go.
All right, Ron, this is one of my favorites.
It's very much like St. John Seton Hall right here. One of them is going, the other one's going to the NIT. So here we go. A lot riding on this question.
All right, Ron, name the pitcher who holds the major league record for most career regular season wins without ever having a single regular season at bat.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
That's
Is it Jack Morris, Ron Guidry, Jim Palmer, or Jim Cott?
Huh.
Let's go Jim Palmer.
Palmer.
Right? He played it. No, it's not Palmer.
No, it's Louisiana Lightning, Ron
Ron Guidry.
Yeah.
It could have been Jim Cott because they used to pinch hit Jim Cott. He was a really good hitter. All right, Ron, right at the cusp of greatness there. Could have taken a lead, but instead he falls out of the competition altogether. You want to work in another one here, Lubie? What do you think?
I can do someone else. We can have someone else, or we can go to finals. I know.
Let's go to the finals. I mean, we have greatness here with the finals. While we're setting that up, Gurggles, another word about Perdomo Cigars.
Sure.
And then later on today, you're welcome to join us, Gurgs. We will be at a place called Batch Southern Kitchen. Batch Southern Kitchen, which the Southern thing, I don't know. Is it a little misleading, Lubie? Because they have like great overall fare. I mean, but they do feature a lot of things that would be unique to Southern cooking, and they do a tremendous job on that. But surprisingly, I don't know, would you consider jambalaya to be a Southern dish. It's more of a New Orleans thing.
Which is Southern-y, Southern adjacent.
Do a great job with that. I mean, really a great place. So we'll be there later on today with Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Mayo, again, I don't know if it worked for him, but have you been to New Orleans, Gergs?
Yes, I was there back in 1972.
Oh, a long time ago. Okay.
Yeah.
What was the Lucky Dog Cart a popular street feature in New Orleans at the time?
I was at Pat O'Brien's for Hurricane and went to the fairgrounds and my reminiscence of New Orleans, and no offense to any people from there, it was one of the dirtiest cities I've ever been
Oh,
in.
yeah. No, it's utter pond scum. It's
interest in going
fantastic.
back
I
at
love
all.
that about it. I really do. The seedy nature actually enhances its appeal for me. But yeah, I told Mayo to try a Lucky Dog, and of course he put his food critic hat on and dismissed himself from reality, which is all of it matters in terms of a hot dog of this nature. All of it is contingent on the circumstance and the time, right? I mean, if you're drunk out of your mind at 3 a.m. and somebody hands you a bite of a Lucky Dog, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's Coney fucking Island, Gergs. So he has one at the airport when he's sober and trying to get on a flight, and he thought it was horrible. But he decided to try it again. See, subliminally, he felt badly that he had rejected the whole Lucky Dog concept. So he goes to the Hard Rock to play in a poker tournament, and he has the equivalent of what would have been a disgusting-looking Lucky Dog with chili and cheese, and he wins the tournament. Picks up 3 dimes, right? So now he has to have one every time he plays poker, which I don't know. I mean, his cardiologist cannot be happy with this new development because this thing that he had last night at the Hard Rock looked absolutely. I mean, you talk about no reference to wicked cheesesteaks. That this could have been like instant death. It really was horrible. But Perdomo Cigars, I mean, if you wanted to line up something that was absolutely brilliant, as we're just almost set for the finals here, which we are now.
Yep.
But yeah, quick word about Perdomo Cigars.
Quick word about them. You can come out here to Miami Lakes Golf Club, and we sell them right here. So if you're coming out to play golf and you want a great cigar, right at our pro shop here at Miami Lakes Golf Club, Perdomo Cigars, we sell them. A lot of great retailers sell them around here. You can go there in person, 5150 Northwest 167th Street on the Palmetto, just a little bit east of the Home Depot on the south side. Go say hello to Nick, tell him we sent you, and put something great in your mouth with a cigar from Perdomo Cigars.
All right, we're set for the finals here. We have 2 standout players that are going to go head-to-head. It's going to be Lenny the Chronic and Pat, both probably, and in all likelihood, on hand tonight for the live version of the Lubie Professor Trivia Challenge that takes place at Landlubbers and is a brilliantly run live competition and a great night out, too. And as you said, when the check comes to the table, I mean, I don't know. Is everybody asking for separate checks there, Lubie? Do they drive them crazy?
They may. I mean, they're cool about whatever.
Okay, good.
The numbers is really good. The service, they do a really good job. The management's cool. The food.
Oh, the food. Hey, you guys the food is unbelievable. Tonight's
really
cheeseburger special. But I recommend, if you're a little more healthy, the blackened salmon teriyaki bowl. Is unbelievable.
They make a great
food is limitless and it's terrific. It's a combination of great entertainment, great food, and great service. So I wouldn't miss it.
Well, Sandwich Defo likes, and we love brine, but if you're on the west side of town, you're not near
the cheesesteak. Yeah.
They make a really good chicken Philly. That's actually the professor who you would normally is not Mr. Philly. The chicken Philly, they do a really good job with it. It's a nice, and again, everything's a good. It's a really great place. Again, I've been going there my whole life. So even before I met Defo, who was already doing stuff there.
Well, Lubie was born there, yeah.
The mainstay, Landlubbers, and it is to this day, and we really have a good time. So if you do want to come out, you have a chance, you have time, there's always room for you. At 6:30, we start tonight.
And you may be hit with a question like this, which is what's going to happen here for Pat and the Chronic. Gurggles is going to fire off a question. Call out your name if you want to answer right away. Nobody answers right away. We'll offer multiple choice. The first person to call out his name gets first chance. We go back and forth until we have a winner. There's a little strategy involved, a little intellect involved, and a little bit of luck. So without further delay, here's the championship question of this week's edition of the Trivia Challenge with the great Dave Gurggles Gergely.
Wow, you did that better than Duff Lindsay used to do. Okay. Okay, guys, good luck. Golf. This is the 50th anniversary of the Tournament Players Championship this year, held at the Sawgrass. Their first one was in 1974, where Jack Nicklaus beat J.C. Snead by 3 strokes. But where was that one held?
Wow.
The first TPC Championship in 1974.
Here are your choices, people.
All right. Was it Pinehurst, Sawgrass, Colonial Country Club, or Atlanta Country Club?
Pat.
Pat.
Ready.
C.
Colonial.
No. Nope.
All right, incorrect. 3 left for the Chronic.
Was it Pinehurst, Sawgrass, or Atlanta Country Club?
Let's go with Pinehurst.
Pinehurst. The fabled Pinehurst is incorrect also. Pat, down to a 50-50 shot.
50-50 here.
If you use your 50-50, you'll get this one right.
Sawgrass or Atlanta Country Club?
Sawgrass.
Backdoor
Incorrect.
win.
Backdoor win for the Chronic.
It was at the Atlanta Country Club. Lenny, of course, an avid golfer. He was 2 under last week till he got to the
Hoping
windmill
to
hole.
see gentlemen tonight.
All right, Lenny.
Lenny the Chronic. I mean, that's almost like winning a pick 6 on a DQ. Incredible as Lenny backs in.
And Pat Colonial was the second year, not the first. So it was a good guess, but wrong.
I'm thinking the only reason Atlanta Country Club was part of the answer selections was because it was the answer. Otherwise, you would have come up with a fabled course, somewhere. And so it sort of led me to that as a possible answer. But obviously, you completely befuddled 2 championship caliber players. And I had Lenny win on a backdoor proposition, which he'll be receiving his gift certificate, no doubt, tonight from when Mike Lubie. How many does he have, Lubie?
I don't know. Ken and I were talking about it the other day, where we feel like he just has a drawer.
There's going to be some kind of investigation. What do you think?
Because he doesn't win here that much anymore, and they don't win every week there. But there was a run where for like 2 months straight, they won there every week. And then
you get a gift certificate there too?
Yes, and he was winning here a lot. So it was like, could he have spent all of them?
Does the whole team get a gift certificate or just Lenny?
It's one team. It's the team. The team gets it.
The team gets it. Okay.
I don't know how they do it because he's not definitely the only person that's good on that team. So they must,
when it comes to paying a check, how long is the conversation between Lenny the Chronic and Suffreen?
Gurgs has been a part of this more than I have. Gurgs has been there a lot.
Do they bring in mediation? What do they do?
I've always been curious.
I've been there after a good day at the races, and sometimes I picked up a check for the table. I've also been there when they had certificates, and they said, Dave, just thanks for coming. We don't want you to pay anything. So Lenny is not a stingy person. Neither is Ron or Pat. They're a good group of people. I like to go there because actually they don't know this, but Landlubbers gives me $20 to go on their team because I'm the killer. I'm the cooler for them.
You defeat them, yeah. That makes some sense. But at the same time, now does Lenny try to leave a gratuity with the gift certificates also?
Always takes care of it. They are generous people. They really are. They're
so he doesn't
really
leave like
generous.
50 in script for the server.
Yeah, the last time I think the tip Lenny last time is cross at the green, not in between. Something like that. I don't know. All right, gentlemen, I got to get to work.
Yeah, you get going there, Gurggles. Fantastic job, as always. Dave Gurggles Gergely, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we got to get out of here also, or we have to get out of here. Yes. We will be at Batch. Is it Southern Kitchen? Is that the official time?
At Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale.
And Tap, yeah. And it's a great place. With a lot of variety. It's not just as if you have to be in a mood for Southern food, although if you are, you're really in great shape. Right?
They have great salads. They have burgers. They have sandwiches. They have full dinners and meals. The steak we had last time was freaking great. They do everything. The Southern is just something they do well at a higher level. And a lot of things for Southern. And again, it's some of my favorite places are mom and pop, small places. But sometimes you want to sit down. You want to be able to have a cocktail. You want to have a nice meal and it also be Southern. They do that as well.
Free parking in the garage in the back. You have to get one of the marked spaces there, either on the first or second floor. But it is fairly clearly marked.
It's very clearly marked.
Well, there was only one space that wasn't marked on the second floor, and of course, that was the one that I found.
So go with it says 4 hours. So, it should cover your time.
Oh, no. You could be there a good couple of hours like we will be today. But, and it's delightful. That guy, Kevin, is fantastic. All of the help there, too. All of the people, the assistant managers and servers, really, really good. Batch. That's on the path there to downtown Fort Lauderdale.
It's between Broward and Sunrise on US 1.
US 1,
west side. It's off of 5th Street.
Very nice spot. All right, we'll see you there, Mike Lubie Limits. For Mike Lubie Limits, I'm Jeff DeForest. For Dave Gurggles Gergely as well. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Glad we can have you with us for the Trivia Challenge and the other fanfare on the program. And we'll see you next time, tomorrow at Degenerate Friday, as we leave you know that.
The time
It's 9 o'clock.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they done to my soul.